American Jury and Bulldog Nation. Welcome to the Eric Deters Show. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga. Check us out on all of our platforms. And I want to do a special happy birthday to Frank Hanser, my fan and my producer's good old dad. Happy birthday, Frank. May you have a great Bulldog Nation birthday. Top story, Memorial Day. You know, this is a great weekend. And we can do both, folks. We can do both. First, let's make sure we all take a moment, and we always do. I mean, I'm preaching the choir. You hear this from everybody. But let's honor those who have fallen. As we know that Memorial Day is the day that we honor all those who have fallen in battle in our country's service, whatever that cause might be, whatever branch of service it might be. This is the day that we honor them and we celebrate them and we remember them of their sacrifices for our country. They all paid the ultimate sacrifice. You know, somebody that I actually think about every Memorial Day these days is my friend Dan and Fran Lee lost their son years back. I think it was either in Iraq or Afghanistan. And I think of them every Memorial Day, you know, lost their son in battle, a Green Beret soldier. So on this Memorial Day, may all of you, we remember our soldiers and all those servicemen and women we've lost. But let's also have a great weekend. This is the kickoff to the summer, and it's okay to have fun, too. Everybody acts like, oh, you're not allowed to have a picnic. It's not about picnics. Well, yes, it is about picnics. Memorial Day weekend is a wonderful 3-day weekend. Don't we all love long weekends? Don't we wish every weekend was a long weekend? I don't know about you, but I do, so enjoy yourself. Let me tell you what my plans are. Nothing. I have a wonderful home, and I'm going to enjoy it all weekend. Probably take some drives in the car, have some good food, mow my grass, do a lot of work too, go swimming. It's going to be great. Have some hot dogs and hamburgers. So have a great Memorial Day weekend. Now on to the real news. Supreme Court ruling. This is big. EPA was trying to make, if you had water in a pothole, they wanted control over it. Seriously, if you just had any standing water in a grassy area, they wanted to take control over it. The Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court, by a 9-0 vote, said, nah, baby, nah. EPA's control over waterways, it has to be a real waterway. This is a victory for common sense in this country. The liberals go wacky. CNN's poll shows that if Biden was elected in 2024, 66% of Americans think it would be a disaster. Like I always say, what about these 34%? He's a disaster now. He's been a disaster for this country. The harm that he has caused, the damages that he's caused in life and money and everything else is insurmountable. And guess what? Pays no price for it because he's a damn politician. He disgusts me. I loathe this guy. Loathe him. North Hollywood Pride Assembly. Even the parents at North Hollywood have had enough. They're going to have this big school pride assembly. The parents are boycotting it. Good for them. In Hollywood, Target has lost $9 billion in market value by messing around with pride and satanic stuff. Target paying the price. You know, Disney, Budweiser, Target. Like I said, that companies can't help it. They can't help it because they have to act like they're standing up with their woke brothers in the corporate world. But you know what? Shareholders ought to be pissed off. There ought to be lawsuits against them. Hopefully there is. Fode DeBerry, who is the chief operating engineer at Twitter, resigned the day after Twitter got all screwed up. You know that resignation was probably a request by Elon Musk, quietly. McCarthy versus Biden showdown. I told you. McCarthy's not giving up these cuts, and Joe Biden will walk this country off a cliff before he gives in because he's an obstinate dumbass. There's nothing worse than somebody who stands on principle and stupidity, and that's what that guy is, Joe Biden. 2,300 illegals criminals have been released by the Biden administration in the last 5 months, and like almost 3,000 who are charged with the crime. It's unbelievable. Last but not least, Black Lives Matter is bankrupt. All that money, all those corporations that gave them all that freaking money, used like gangsters. Can you imagine the millions of dollars the leaders of Black Lives Matter just took, and it's all gone? Hysterical. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Coming up next, Bulldog TV local news with yours truly. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to Bulldog TV local news, sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga. Check us out on all of our platforms. And happy Memorial Day. And our lead story is these January you-know-what prosecutions. Yesterday, a Proud Boys leader was sentenced to 18 years in prison. Now, I'm assuming the reason why he got 18 years, I think this is the guy that was connected to maybe bringing some bombs and having some bombs around. If that's the case, good riddance. But it doesn't change the fact, and this is why I put this in local news. I have spoken to several people who were present there. They didn't go in. They were just present. You know, every one of them have been contacted by the FBI. And the phone call goes like this. We want to talk to you about your role in the insurrection. That's the word the FBI uses, insurrection. And they get spoken to, threatened, scared to death. I mean, people that were there never went into the place, have been harassed by the Justice Department. It's truly amazing what happened to all these people. Proud Boys guy, if he brought bombs, you have to send him away. 18 years, I don't know about that. But the bottom line is, they can't take a joke. A guy puts his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Oh, if I was that judge sentencing that guy, I would say, did you have a good time? I know it was funny. I know it's not funny now. You shouldn't have done it. But I'm not, I get the joke that you were doing. Seriously. No. Got to throw the books at all these folks. All right, law and crime. Nicholas Veerkamp, 32, 35-year sentence, sexually exploiting a 9 and a 12-year-old girl. And he apparently had another history of exploiting somebody else. Why do we want to house this guy 35 years on the state dime? I'm telling you, folks, we need prison reform. We need prison reform. A 29-year-old man was shot and killed the night before last over the Rhine. No suspects caught. You know what? There is no accountability for the city of Cincinnati at all relative to this violence. None. They always say, we're going to get community input. We're going to get our leaders, our church leaders. We're going to have a discussion and a dialogue. No. Joe Deters is right. The only way to clean up is put them in jail. It's fact. In local news, one Northern Kentucky center is getting $10 million tax breaks from the county. I hate this corporate welfare crap. And they're going to build this building down there at the foot of the Rebling Bridge. It's the parking lot now. And you know what? They're going to put in the Chamber of Commerce and the Bar Association. One Northern Kentucky. Whoa. It's a bunch of Boulder Dash. Corporate welfare. We're tax dollaring it. It's, you know what it is? It's some politicians' egomania to do this building, one Northern Kentucky, blah, 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 blah. It's a joke. 5-year-old hit by a truck in Forest Park has not died. Let's hope they don't die. In Kentucky, got a lot of good Kentucky news. Bashir is not appointed 2 members to the State Board of Education for a year, and one of them has to be a Republican. So he sits there for a whole year, not appointing, leaving 2 seats vacant. One has to be a Republican. Come on, Andy, you can't find one Republican that supports you? You know you do. Representative Josh Galloway has been getting a lot of grief over a podcast where he said LBGT is a sickness and illness. I'm going to take up for this guy, okay? He spoke down at the Hardin County Lincoln Day dinner. By the way, he was the most popular guy in the room at the Hardin County Lincoln Day dinner. And he's a sharp young man. And I tell you right now, he gave a great speech about about how they are coming for our children. I stand with this guy. Glenna Bevan, Matt Bevan's wife, has filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences and say they've lived separate and apart for a year. Now we know why Bevan didn't run for governor. By the way, divorce is always sad, and it's also always embarrassing if you're at least a little bit famous. So all the best to the Bevans as they go through that. Bill Galton Foundation has donated $100 million to the UK College of Agriculture. Largest gift ever. Wow. And Kelly Craft's done a little post-election video where she says, I have 2 words, stay tuned. Sounds like to me she's going to announce she's going to run for something else. Kelly Craft, political career in Kentucky, in my opinion, is dead. And you know what? It'll be interesting to see what she does. The thought occurred to me, would Daniel Cameron pick her to be his lieutenant governor running mate? I don't know. We'll see. Money, money, money. And in Ohio, this is scary. An alligator was in the St. Mary's River, is on loose. There were 2. One got shot, one still on the loose, and one person's dead. By the way, I say this all the time. When I even swim in a lake, or it's been a while since I've done that, lake or the river or anything else, I always worry about these like sharks, gators. Everybody's, you're proof it can happen. And last but not least, on our local news, UC Health on June 24th is going to have a gay pride parade where they're going to participate in it. UC family is proud to support woke diversity. Janetta Darno, VP and Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer. Really? Really? This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Coming up next, Jamie Spinley, the smiling Brit in his world news. By the way, yesterday, he mispronounced boycott. Use your imagination, and we had to cut it. Get with it, Spinley.
Happy Friday, Bulldog Nations. Today's latest world headlines. 15 injured and 1 killed as a Russian missile strike hits a medical clinic in the eastern part of Ukraine last night. A man has been arrested on an Asian airline flight. The plane was coming into land. The man opened the emergency exit door. All 194 passengers survived the flight. Some passengers, however, were taken to the hospital for breathing problems. A 31-year-old man has been arrested in Japan. 4 people killed in a race shooting and stabbing attack. A second delay for thousands of travellers at London's Heathrow Airport. British Airways has cancelled at least 42 more flights due to the import of IT failure. Around 16,000 passengers have been affected. And in sports, Manchester United beat Chelsea 4-1. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. See you all Monday. Take care, and as always, thank you for watching Bulldog TV World News.